Hey guys, so I'm going to read the energy for today, and then I wrote something, like I just wrote like my thoughts in meditation, and I'm going to share that as well. Okay, so this reading is called Starstruck, and then it's also called Control Tactic from a Psychopath, or of a Psychopath. Somebody's losing their mind, okay? Losing their mind is an understatement here. Somebody was manipulated to pass judgment, okay? This person was a King of Pentacles, so they could be a boss, but overall they're just a very financially secure individual. They're finding their footing, okay, after passing judgment, being manipulated to pass judgment. They were manipulated by like a Queen of Swords in the reverse. So somebody very cold and calculated. A pathological liar. Okay, so this King of Pentacles is finding his footing or her footing and no longer supporting a certain group, okay? I was kind of getting cults, but it's like that's the secret. But people get offended when I say the word cult. It touches a nerve, so I'm just gonna call them a group. Okay, I'll probably just call them groups from now on. Okay, supporting a group that is maliciously attacking and causing endings within innocent people's life. Okay, but in this particular case, it was a healer's life. Heavy rituals being done, heavy sacrifices being done, heavy death plots being done, heavy thievery, fraud, voodoo dolls, relationship spells, and financial spells. Okay, so a lot of spell work, okay? But mostly relationship and mostly finances, but they've done everything. Everything that they can think of, okay? A particular heart attack ritual is backfiring. Okay, and then I heard Capricorn, Sagittarius, and Aquarius. Magic is no longer having an effect on this King of Pentacles or this healer because they are now both too healed for it to work, okay? So what does it mean to be too healed for it to work? It means that you're energetically cut that person off, okay? There's no attachment emotionally, okay? Or spiritually. You're making that decision to make that hard boundary and making it very clear, okay? Which it automatically deflects that and has it backfire if you are not affected, right? Not in the mind, not of the heart, and not, so then it can't attach spiritually. Okay. In the past, someone here didn't want to believe that their roommate, okay, but I was getting like their situationship manipulated a raid, okay? So their house got raided, or like a apartment, or like a duplex, or like wherever they were situated, their house got raided, and they didn't want to believe that their situationship, okay, they didn't want to believe that they set that up. In the past, they didn't want to believe that they manipulated this raid. They chose to believe this pathological liar's scripted version of events in order to plot this King of Pentacles against an authentic healer, okay? They despise this person. Heavy, this person was living in the past, okay? Grudge holder. Completely obsessed and triggered by this healer's ability to transform any planned attack. Okay, so then it just fueled this hate, fueled this wanting to have some sort of attack go through. There's a community in an uproar about what exactly they attached themselves to. Heavy accomplices energy, okay? Turning on each other. Heavy domestic violence. Heavy truth and breakthrough energy. So people are having like an aha moment about what they were connected to. A breakthrough and the truth on human trafficking rings. Okay, these frauds have been running human trafficking rings. And then I heard business fraud. Trying desperately to tie this King of Pentacles. Okay, now that this King of Pentacles is no longer working with these people, then now they want to sacrifice as to set them up to frame them for what they've been doing. Okay, desperate to tie this King of Pentacles and this healer to a death, a recent death. Okay, like it could be like 1 to 4 years of a water sign minor, a minor. Refusing to fall victim to a setup and to be framed by this group. Both the healer and the King of Pentacles no longer associate, okay, which then fuels this desperate energy. Damn. Okay. And then this is, I wrote this after meditating today, so I'm just going to share it. Just kind of like speaking on our rights to belief, right? So I wrote this in that, with that in mind, is that I have a right to my beliefs. Because these types of groups and stuff, like, they hate on people for what they believe. But it's a law for a reason, okay? And I have my rights to belief. So I wrote this. The soul's journey. I called it the soul's journey. My interpretation of the soul's journey, okay? So it's what I choose to believe based on my life experiences, because I am a spiritual being, as we are all, like we are all, right? So this is my interpretation of the soul's journey, just a little bit of what I thought about in meditation. Have you ever known something? I mean, like fully understand the hows, the whys, the answers. The answers to this something. Okay, so whatever it is, right? You just know the answers without any sort of prior research or teaching. With this thought alone, it verified for me that things, okay, I read that wrong. On this thought alone verified for me that things exist past what we can see with our naked eye. So there hasn't been one day on this earth that I had questioned the existence of our Creator. Whether or not I've chosen to lean on Him and listen was always up to me. Being as curious and rebellious as I am, I've had a difficult time with slowing down my own thoughts to stop and listen, to meditate. Luckily, my good faith has carried me through unto healing, which is, after all, what I came here to do. Could I have gotten here with softer terrain? Probably. But I believe that no matter the story, the soul's purpose remains the same. Additionally, I've got life experience now backing that, backing the understandings that my faith has brought me, thus making me a great healer, an experienced healer. Anyway, back to the question. Have you ever known something, fully understood how and why, the answers to this something without prior research or teaching. Okay. This is because of one or all of three reasons. This is my belief. You did learn it before, and it has been stored in your subconscious, 1. 2, you've thought about it, thoughts are prayers, and quieted the mind enough to have that answer come to you from our collected consciousness, which is every thought ever to be thought collectively as a whole, okay? And that is meditation. Prayer and meditation. Or 3, you've learned this lesson once before in a life prior to this one. Ancestry knowledge on a spiritual level, okay? And then there was just like, I was writing like an example of these knowing something without ever knowing it. Remarkable outcomes that scientists cannot explain due to being physically or psychologically impossible are called what? Miracles. Without any further explanation, they're just called miracles. Okay, so for me, I just know deep within me that the explanation is spiritual, okay? It's an act of God. The explanation is spiritual, and we get the choice to believe. One could reason that it was fate, that was a good person, or that it was their purpose that they needed to fulfill. Unwavering faith, that it was a prayer, right? A wish upon a star, all of which are spiritual. Maybe that wasn't a good example, but I say another example later on. I heard a question recently, and it was a question from somebody to God. Okay? So they were speaking to God. And the question was along the lines of, why couldn't you have just made only good? When I thought on this, I had a few reasons come to mind in meditation. And I'm sure there's a billion more reasons that anybody can come up with. So if you have an answer to this question, okay, based on your own beliefs, comment down below what it is, okay? Like, what would your answer be to this question if you were to put yourself in God's shoes for a moment? Okay, and the question is, why couldn't you have just made only good? I've always practiced stuff like this, okay? I'm always trying to challenge myself spiritually. Just doing little tasks like this, like on and off throughout life, right? Because there is moments in my life where I did neglect my relationship with God. Not to say that I didn't believe, I always believed. Since I could remember, I don't remember ever not, okay, or ever questioning it. But there's times where I had not nourished that relationship, right? So then my intuition's off because I'm not practicing. Okay, so I wasn't always that great of a person, okay? I was rebellious. I was kind of a shit. So, if you have any sort of preconceived idea that bad, okay, whoever you deem a bad person, okay, don't have that connection to God, that is a complete lie. You can go ahead and throw that out the window, okay? Everything is a choice, and if you choose to nourish that relationship with a loving, forgiving, kind God, okay, all loving God, then eventually you will see. So never think that you are too bad to believe in God or whatever, right? Or pass that judgment upon somebody else. If they choose today to start nurturing that relationship, they will know. Okay, they'll know that our true creator does not pass judgment. Okay, I would like do these little tasks where I would challenge myself spiritually, okay? And I would end up in like, if I was in like a compromising situation or I was heartbroken, betrayed, whatever, I would always, of course, I'd go through the emotions, right? But I would always come to the conclusion that I want to be the bigger person here, okay? Because I don't know where that person is at. I don't understand them, really. I don't. Okay, only God does. And I have to accept where they are at. And if they are at a really dark, cold place, well, then so be it, right? I can't be the one to judge that. I am not God. I would always end up choosing to be the bigger person, okay? And how I would do that, I remember doing this when I was really little. I would put myself in the shoes of the angels, and I would look at myself, look at the bigger picture, right? And I'd always want to be the bigger person or let it go, as to surrender the situation, as if I were the angels looking down from heaven, okay, upon everybody, okay, upon the whole situation, okay, and then that would also allow me to see how little my problem really is. So if you want to practice that, then it works, okay, it works. And when you think of somebody who loves you unconditionally, watching you go through this situation, you want to make them proud, okay? So you choose to be kind. Where am I here? I knew I'd get off track here. I'm getting off track here. Let me reread the question. Reread the question to God. The question was, why couldn't you have just made only good? Okay, for one, I was thinking of answers. For one, life would be extremely bland and boring. Life would be lifeless. Two, another thought was, which is also something that I've known without really knowing. Okay, so this is the other example, I mean, is that we came here to grow the soul, the spirit. We came here to learn lessons and to love, okay? And I knew that without ever really knowing, okay? I felt it deep within my soul, okay? So we came here to learn lessons and to love because it is the growth of the soul, the spirit. That's what we're here to do, to grow the spirit, the soul. How are we to learn discernment, for example? How are we to learn discernment without any sort of adverse choice? How are we to understand love and its power if we don't witness hate? This is how we learn to be balanced or not. With this opposition of evil, our predecessors in the spirit witness and grade our spiritual growth. Okay, it's a test of intent. It's a test of the heart. Okay, it's like a purity, right? And it's different than what we think. Our morals, okay, our values, by temptation. Okay, they test it by temptation and by pain. Okay, by temptation and pain. For example, do we stand our ground when we're faced with people and their opposing values or their opposing beliefs? Do we Do we choose to learn the lesson? And what do we do with such knowledge? Do we hand it down, right? Do we choose to persevere or give up? Do we choose to have unconditional love for people despite what we've been through? Do we choose to live in and live out our life's purpose? Filling the mind, body, and spirit with accomplishment. Last example, and I saved the best for last. Do we choose to have unwavering faith throughout it all? Our purpose, the one purpose that we all have in common, is to always put yourself first, right? Loving you first, nourishing you first, so that the love that you have within overflows, okay, into like our energetic space, and then other people are being fulfilled just by being around our energy, okay? By loving you first, and with a mustard seed of faith and an active relationship with the power, with a higher power that loves you, this should be a simple task to love ourselves first. Okay, so that's kind of what I wrote after meditation today. Just a little snippet of things that I believe. Okay, so if you have something that you want to share, go ahead and share it. I'll read the questions again. Have you ever known something without fully knowing it? Okay, you just understand the hows and whys of it, like you know the answers to this something without any sort of research. You just know it to be true because you know it deep within you. Okay, so if you have any of those, that knowledge based on your beliefs and your life experience, go ahead and put it in the comments. And then the second question is, if you were to momentarily put yourself in God's shoes, okay, and somebody asked you, why couldn't you have just made only good? What would your answer be to that person? And if you have to sit and meditate on it, go ahead and do that, because that's what I did. I'm just gonna keep it there, okay? We'll just absorb that, and if I do a reading later, I might come on live. Have a good day, people. I love you guys.